Earthling, and they have recently celebrated 10 years together. Welcome. So this is the original lineup?
Yeah, the original lineup excluding our drummer, who's in Candy at the moment.
So how do you think you've managed to stay together 10 years now? I mean, usually other bands, they have lineup changes, they have fights, so what do you think has kept you guys together, honestly?
I think we were friends before we started the band, right? So, I think that's the main reason why we are together.
So you're friends first?
Yeah,
That makes
friends
sense.
in school. It was a big plan of ours to do this band, and then we started and touch wood, yeah, 10 years now.
You're recording your debut album now?
Yeah.
So why so long?
Huh?
If I can put it that way.
Well, that's a question a lot of people have asked us, and it's a little bit hard to answer as well. But I guess it just took a long time. Because it hasn't been that easy, doing the band, totally getting this whole thing out, and that's the main thing to do. So, yeah, that's 10 years of music's gonna come.
You've put out 2 EPs before this as well.
Yeah. Like one EP was called Rock and Roll Is My Anarchy, which has 3 of our earliest singles, which is Pull Me Under, 69, and Rock and Roll Is My Anarchy. And after that we released like a bootleg CD of just live songs, just taken straight off live shows. And that's pretty much been, and it's just pretty much been a lot of bootleg stuff which has been covered.
So can we expect the same sound to come from your new album?
It'll sound more quality, and yeah, the same whole raw Paranoid Earthling sound will be there.
Your lyrics usually they focus on political, cultural issues, sex, stuff like that. Are you drawing on your own personal views for this, or are you just...
Well, it's what I experience in life and what I see, but basically all the chaos going around, so that will be the political part of it. In general, the world, if you take the whole world in a whole, like instead of just Sri Lanka, it talks about different incidents, things.
Okay, so what do you hope to achieve with the music, with the message that you're sending to these kids who listen to you?
Well, it's just...
Are you a social activist?
Well, I guess our band is like a whole bunch of social activists. So, it's like we basically talk about freedom, freedom of expression, freedom of thought, freedom to be yourself, not be judged. I mean, if you look at Sri Lanka and certain countries, Asia, it's a very conservative system which runs around here. Then we look at the other side of the world where there's so much freedom, the whole world needs to be free, without all these restraints. It's changing now, I guess, with the internet, and nowadays, you can't block any sort of information. Anyone can get any information anywhere, whatever you want, just type it, you find it.
So do you think it's necessary for a band to live up to the whole rock and roll image of sex, drugs, alcohol? Do you have to live that image?
If you talk about drugs, everything is anything is drugs. Alcohol is a drug, tobacco is a drug, but those are the legal.
But do you think bands have to?
It depends on...
It's not a must.
It's not a must. I mean, different people have different ways of doing things, seeing life.
Public, they usually expect that from say a grunge band or a rock band.
Rock and roll has always had that. It's been
It depends on the individual.
Depends, yeah.
And the bands.
You've done shows in India as well now. Do you have a growing fan base there? Are you noted?
In Delhi there's a good response to our music there. We played a festival as well, South Asian Bands Festival, and that really went well. It was about 20 or 15,000 people that night, and they all went mad.
So you've got your Paranoid Earthling fans there as well now?
Yeah.
The fan base. So you're recording your new album now. What do you guys like in the studio? What's an average day like recording?
We haven't started working on it yet because we'll be doing the whole thing independently. As in we'll be getting all our own equipment and we'll be doing it ourselves.
So you're independent, you're not signed to anyone?
We're not signed to anyone.
Is that part of the whole the
Well,
thing, or is it just...
Here you don't get labels, right?
I mean, you
most
don't
of the
get
bands
labels
are
in Sri
doing
Lanka.
their own thing. Like, they're recording on their own. Like, they can go to a studio and record, but there are no labels here.
So is it harder
And,
to do it your own?
It's a bit harder.
It's
Like,
a bit harder,
financial
but
wise, it's a bit harder, but
Yeah.
but you do that. Your music doesn't get tampered with. You can.
And
do
it's
your
really
own
hard to find a producer here who'd really know our sound because we've gone and we've done work with different producers, but we haven't got that Paranoid Earthling sound we want. So this time we're taking it all to ourselves.
So what do you guys like outside of the band? What do you do? Okay.
Other than music, I'm a designer as well. I'm a freelance graphic designer.
I used to do graphics, but I'm a web developer now.
I work in a bank.
Okay. I didn't expect that one. I just
Can't
asked.
say no, this guy works in the bank.
What have been your biggest challenges as a grunge band? I mean, the local
Challenge?
scene here is more metal or indie pop.
Well, even the metal crowd likes our music. Even you even get people who've been in parties or anything, they'll also like our music. I guess our music is like very accessible out there. It's like a lot of groove. It's like raw grunge. You couldn't say grunge because our sound has kind of evolved a bit. So we have our own kind of sound, like it has psychedelic elements, industrial elements. So
You're the only grunge band I think here in Colombo.
yeah.
So what is that like? You hold the crown now.
Huh?
Most other grunge bands, they usually fade after about a year or two, and you've lasted 10 years. What do you think has...
It's the passion.
It's the passion, yes, the life. That's from small days. That's what I always wanted to do: to be a musician, a rocker.
Same.
Feel very special.
So this is what you'll be doing, say, 10 years from now, you'll still be in the band?
This is what we want to do, and this is what we're taking. This machine called Paranoid Earthling.
And do you have like a loyal fan base here in Colombo?
Yes.
Is it like big? Is it with the metal heads and
It's a mix of different,
It's of different people, different ages.
like we have people like in teenagers we have who are fans. Then we have people in their 20s, 30s, even senior people in their 40s, 50s. To
We
enjoy.
have like even lots of fans in Candy.
You're from Canada?
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Whole band is from Canada.
After we toured India, we learned something on timing, like being on time. Because over here, like it's the Sri Lankan thing. No, it's at 10 o'clock, it's 12 o'clock or 12 o'clock.
So would you leave Sri Lanka if you got a chance to go abroad? Would you sign with a label? Would you
Yes.
go?
Yeah.
That's one of our plans actually, to get out there and play. Because the city is much bigger out there.
So if you got a chance, say in India, where you're playing currently a lot, if you got a chance, do you go there?
Yeah, we would for a while.
Do you think more local bands should be playing abroad then?
It's actually started now. Like bands are actually playing abroad. Like even-
Lots of international bands are coming down here and doing concerts.
like there's
The
a
local bands.
there's a big connection now with like the local rock industry. It connects a lot with other foreign bands as well. So bands come here and play together, then bands from here go and play out there.
So it's more...
Yeah.
What's your personal favorite music? It's not
Mine?
just grunge.
A lot. I like stuff from the 70s, industrial music.
So no country? No pop?
No, I don't like. I don't know. I don't like country that much.
I listen to a lot of grunge, metal, punk. I like punk a lot. Yeah.
Hard rock.
So do these influences play into your sound?
Yeah. Exactly.
There are a lot of new local band competitions coming up.
Yeah.
Do you think those help promote these
Those
bands?
help because actually our first ever gig in Colombo wasn't on stage.
Yeah. Okay.
through we got kicked off the preliminary rounds. It was through that kick that our first appearance in Colombo that I was damn nervous.
So those help, but there are
Yeah,
bands
they
who
do.
say that that doesn't help though, that they just get the one time on stage and everyone just forgets about them. It's more like a brand thing if you appeared on that.
Because I mean, doing a band is not easy. You can't just suddenly go and play one place here and then expect to become a big rock star. I mean, you have to work hard on it. You have to live. You have to go through a lot of things, and all that only revolves in the music.
Keep on
and
playing.
You have to keep doing it. It's not an easy job being a rock musician.
So it's the love of the music. You
It's
have
the
to
passion
have
for the music and the determination
An originality.
and being different.
Is there anyone you'd like to mention? Any friends who might have helped you on?
Derek Vikramanayake of Wildfire helped us in the start. I remember, when we recorded our first demo tape to give on stage, he gave us their jam room. So that time we were like all excited. Wow, look at all this drum kit.
So you were self-taught, weren't you?
Yeah.
So
All of us.
All of
all
us.
of you. So you just woke up one day, you want to be in a band, and
It happened, no? Suddenly. Well, actually, in school, these two guys are friends in school. His brother is my friend in our class. We were 2 years younger.
Brother is the drummer.
His
My
brother is the drummer. So, and
That's how we made the connection, and we started off small with box guitars and all.
back then we only had this guitar, this one
And
guitar.
we didn't have a drum set.
We didn't have
he
a drum
made a drum
kit,
set
we had
out of X-ray
out of
cards
X-ray
and-
boards. Yeah. And an acoustic guitar. So when we used to practice, it used to be like one acoustic, one electric, and then he takes the electric and I take the acoustic, and then we play
We used
live.
to switch guitars and practice. Because we had only one guitar at that time.
okay. Thank you for speaking with us.
Lankan.